Alrighty, guys. We're going to go into our new spooky season of a topic. We're going to go ranking horror movies.
This is a fun one.
I'm excited
right
for this one.
We are huge horror fanatics. Chris is a huge whore. And we are excited to talk about some horror movies right here. Okay, please take note. And I say this every ranking system we do. I get the comments. You didn't put The Shining. I can't put every 90s cartoon that you loved. I can't put everything. I can't put the other 400 horror movies that I wanted to put in here.
But just know that those topics will be gone or be on later on, right?
Yes,
so
they'll
it's
be
like,
revisited.
Come on. Yeah, revisited.
They'll be revisited. We'll go like 70s, late 80s. So, okay. To start...
70s.
Come on, bro. This kid born in 2020. You look like a COVID kid. Ricky, pick a number between 1 and 10.
7.
7. Ooh, I should have put that movie on there. 1, 2, 3,
7
4,
is a
5, 6.
great movie.
Okay, we're starting off with Scream. Straight up Scream. And we're going to start with Chris.
Oh, man.
Oh, and by the way, I should say...
Can I look at the other ones, too?
No.
No.
For people who don't know, S is the best, F is the worst. Rankin. Let's go, Chris.
It was good when it came out. I appreciated it. But, you know, it's funny. My son was asking me about this one the other day. He's like, Dad, we were talking about horror movies. He's like, what's Scream like? And I was like, it's okay. As far as horror, it's not one of my favorites. I thought at the time when it came out, it had a good cult following.
Yeah.
But, man, I would put it at mid-grade.
Which is...
I would put it at C.
C.
I'd give it a C.
Ricky?
Same C. It just
C.
It was a good movie. It wasn't the greatest.
Okay.
I would put it at a B just because it was like, I bought that. That was my first mask that I bought as a Halloween. Like,
really?
Yeah, Scream. And I was a late 2000s kid.
Wow.
But like that was one of the first things that I
told Curtis to buy a mask, and that's what he bought instead. Yeah. I like it.
That was one of my first
mask all COVID.
Dude, I'm not even going to go there. Okay, well, it's all good.
Yeah, that was just one of my first Halloween costumes. I have a good nostalgia with that. I would say B.
Scream, I'm going to go A. I really like the original Scream. I love what they did in the beginning by introducing Drew Barrymore. They turn you on your head by thinking, Drew Barrymore, main character. She's going to be the driving force in this movie, and she is killed immediately in the movie. Yeah. And I know Black Christmas was one of the first movies to use the whole phone call scares, but I feel like this popularized it much more to where phone calls kind of became a big trope within movies after that, even though I think Black Christmas was one of the first ones to start it. Love it. I really love the acting in it. It's just a really fun movie for me. I'm going to go A. So A, C, C, B.
Yep.
That's
B.
Like a B kind
okay.
That's
B.
just like a lower B. Mid-low
B.
trash.
Okay, low
Chris.
B. Okay, I'm going to just grab one at random. Friday the 13th, baby.
Oh.
We're going to go Ricky.
Well, go ahead.
Are we talking series now?
No, that's cheating.
All right, so
we're
it's
going
just
movie.
Friday the 13th 1.
Yes, we can do
Original.
a horror sequels or something.
Okay.
Whatever one is on the screen is one we're talking about. So you can't do what Ricky did and vote on Strider when we're not talking about it.
Why you got to bring that back up?
What you got, Ricky? Friday the 13th.
I'm going to give it a B. I really enjoyed the story. I think it was a story that I really enjoyed. How he was a kid. It went into the whole thing. Wait, am I thinking of it right?
I don't know if you are, Ricky.
Oh my gosh.
My favorite about this is that the mom is the villain.
Yes.
Right. It's
The mom's the
mom
villain.
with the bag over her head.
Because when you think of Friday the 13th,
She does. She has a
that's the
bag
same
over
way I hang out with you. I didn't even get through the joke.
I was waiting for the Curtis bomb joke.
I didn't get through. No, I have to be nice to Curtis. People in the comments are saying I'm being too mean.
Now I got the bomb
I love it
jokes.
though. You know I like that stuff.
Yeah, the mom's the villain. Because when you think about Friday the 13th, you don't think the mom. Because
I do with this one. That's the problem.
But
with this
most people don't. Most people just lump it in with all the other Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
The biggest we got at the end to the real villain that we know now today was at the end when the canoe or boat gets jumped on and
one. Jumps out. This
grabs
little
the person.
zombie thing.
Yeah. I'm going to jump in and just say B because it wasn't my favorite. Some of the other ones I like later. But B.
I'll go. Of all the whole series, honestly, this is probably like my least favorite one.
Of them.
Yeah, because it wasn't actually Jason with the mask.
I like the mom, though.
It was the mom with the bag on the head. There are some good kill scenes in this, though, and there is. It's not terrible, but I don't know. I still, of all the ones, I'd give this a B.
Okay.
B.
Okay.
I would say solid B for me too. Yeah.
So where's this put it?
B.
I think it'll be. Yeah.
It kind of lands in that place because so many people, I think when you think Friday the 13th, you think S. But I don't think if you're singling it out to just Friday the 13th
Yeah, if you love-
original.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
series is an S.
Are we going, was that mid B or is that below Scream?
I would say above
I
screen.
think it was above.
Okay.
Same.
I'm going to randomly grab Ooda Lolly Fortune Tellers, the original Texas
That's
Chainsaw.
what I was looking for. Can I go first?
Yes, absolutely,
I'm
Curtis.
gonna say this is the one I was saving for S tier.
Really?
Yes, I loved everything about this. I love the fact that it was. I hate the fact that it was a true story, but I love the fact that they did like the depiction of it and
Based
how
off
they shot it. It was amazing.
The filming of it is beautifully done. It was the story basically retold of Ed Gein, which, interestingly enough, I was watching some documentaries on. Ed Gein himself was like very realistic to this. Like the police found in Ed Gein's house furniture made out of people's skin and their bones. I mean, that wasn't just from the movie. That is actually what happened. I think there might even have been more deaths in Ed Gein's life than there actually was in the movie. He was actually worse in the movie.
I mean, you think about how long they literally have 2 hours to depict a film, and then his whole entire life he's been doing this pretty much.
Was
So-
Ed Gein the like big, tall serial killer? Is
I don't remember.
like he's
his
like 6'8"?
height. That might have been Gacy.
No, it wasn't Casey. I think it was Ed Gein.
Maybe he was. I don't know.
He's like really big guy.
Let me look
Okay.
up the internet real quick while you guys are depicting this movie.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best in horror. I would absolutely say S as well. And I even liked, I think it was the Jessica Biel remake.
That was a great one.
And I saw that
That's
with
the
really
Rob
good one.
Zombie remake. That is so good.
It's really good.
That was the first Rob Zombie remake of this, which was unbelievable.
yeah.
That's
that
what I'm
is-
thinking of.
Yeah, that one is really. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 with Matthew McConaughey
Yeah.
is really good.
And it's more goofy though.
It is, but it also has.
I know who you're talking about
real-
too. The scalp head guy, the guy with the metal head, or is that 3?
No, it has the guy with the leg, I think. Maybe that's Matthew McConaughey. But there's the scene where he's holding that's the scene where he's holding the hammer with the grandpa trying to smash
That
the
is
head.
such a good scene.
Yeah.
The dynamic of in the house in all of these movies are what make it freaky, right? Because the fact of knowing by the way they started out the movie is just brilliant with the text on screen and did Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's very
so good.
documentary style. I'm a huge horror guy. This is by far one of the best to me. What are you guys putting it at?
You put it at.
He said S. I said S.
Just to jump to the game, by the way, which just came out
Yeah.
on this. I downloaded it the other day.
Me too.
Did you?
We should play online. Is it online?
Did you play it?
No, not yet. Don't tell me. Up. No, I don't want any. Yeah, that face said it all. You idiot.
So you were right about the Ed Gein thing, right? So it was from a guy who was the butcher of Plainfield.
Yep.
In Plainfield, Wisconsin, and he was only 5'7".
Okay, so it's not that guy. There's another serial
little
killer
guy.
that was like 6'8".
Yeah.
I thought it was Ed Gein. I got to read about Ed
Slender
Gein.
Man.
I don't know much about it.
I mean, it was from like 1906, I guess, is like pretty much.
1906?
Yeah, he was old.
Shima Monino. What's your rating?
Oh, man. So, well, let me just finish on the game. Do you want to hear about the game? No, you don't.
I don't want. Honestly, I'm not a spoiler guy.
I'll just say the beginning when you said like the intro scene,
does
they
it?
start the game
Let's
like that.
go.
So the music
I
is
like
there
that.
and it's really incredible.
that.
Of course, it's similar to like the Friday the 13th game.
Yeah.
Do you want my review on it?
No.
Or no, you don't.
I
Okay.
don't.
Darn.
Out of respect.
I'll just say I only played it once and then I put it down.
Kind of like your mom. No, I was kidding.
Good hammer.
So,
Kind of like your mom.
so I'm S. What were you?
S.
2 S's.
He just got it. He just got it. I love you.
It's an S for me. I absolutely love this movie. It's one of
Okay.
my favorite horror movies. I love the grittiness of it.
Gritty.
Like it's so dirty and like real life.
Dirty. That's the word. It's dirty.
It's just so good in the filming of it. And again, I'm just going to reference this again because I was talking about this with my son the other day, and he was like, "How come like none of the serial killers, like the guys in any of the horror movies, can get killed? Like Jason comes back, Freddy
Yeah.
comes back." Leatherface is like one. They never hunt him down. They never kill him somehow.
Just disappears.
He just disappears. He's always like running and hiding. There's like an elusiveness to him. But I don't think they ever kill him in any of the movies. Do they? Do they ever kill him?
I'd have to go deep. I
Yeah.
watch
think
so.
so.
Much horror documentaries that I lose what is what movie
Blend
anymore.
Yeah.
together.
Because I literally watch hundreds
Which, by the
of
way,
them.
we've talked about, but I watch hundreds of those. Every night I go home
Same.
and watch those. Yeah.
But the problem is I'll watch 7 of them while I'm driving somewhere. And then I get back, I'm like, wait, which one was the one with that guy? Because they all blend together
Right.
after a while, yeah. Ricky, what was your rating?
It's S for me.
They're S.
You don't have to give it an S, bro.
No, I'm not giving it an S.
No.
I'm giving it an A.
Okay.
I really enjoy it, but it's A.
Ricky just wanted to say SA.
Dang, man, okay, so when I was saying 1906, that's when he was born.
That's still A
Oh.
plus. That's still S minus.
That's still
S
it's
minus.
a low S.
Okay.
Or actually pretty high S still.
Ready?
Yeah.
Child's Play. Or some would think, I mean, when you ask people, hey, the Chucky movie, they're like, it's called Chucky. I'm
This
like,
one
no.
tortured me as a kid, man.
Tell us.
Yo, I'm gonna say just because it's just a scary thought of like a doll being alive and all that stuff in the series. I'm just going off of Child's Play though. I would say it's an A for me.
Okay.
Just because I mean I was freaked out as a kid
Absolutely.
having that little thing, and the I don't know how to explain it. Like just the way he came off as this persona.
Oh,
You know,
dude.
like bad A
he's-
as could be.
yeah.
Chucky's first like verbal words are like completely vile. It's not like he comes alive and he's like, "Wow, I'm scary." He's like, "Yeah, you horrible word, horrible. That's the worst word you could say to a girl." Like it's like he comes off like it's not just like a slow. You know, a lot of horror movies. What's the chant in this? Crumb dollar something. Charles P. Ray. Charles P. Ray. Is that the guy's name?
Yeah, I think so.
Look up if it's Charles P. Ray. If it's Charles P. Ray as the name of the person that embodies Chucky, then I feel very smart right now.
All right.
That's pretty good.
You guys keep going on your ranking.
My rating, absolutely. I'm going to go B. Even though I love it, wasn't my favorites of the ones coming.
This is actually one of like my least favorite series. I don't like Child's Play.
Okay.
Never did.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna go. I just didn't like. I don't know. It's the little kitty doll. I prefer the other ones with the.
Yeah.
Just doesn't do it for me.
Okay.
I'm gonna go D.
Oh,
What were the other
Oh,
dolls?
dang.
Barbies?
Yeah,
Was it like
not
Barbies?
a big fan.
was it Charles L. Ray? Or
Yeah, you were right.
L. Ray. Something like that, right?
Yeah, Chris only liked Barbies as other dolls, right?
That's
all
right.
I
That's
like.
it.
To me, that is a horror
Barbie.
movie.
Yeah.
The
Furbies.
The new Barbie movie is a horror movie to me.
Furbies were horror movies. No shot, dude. That literally reminded me.
Simpsons.
Love.
Yeah.
I thought you loved me.
Yeah. All right, what
so-
you got, Ricky?
I got an A. I love this. Dude, everything about it, like when that doll moves, it's so good. That little animatronic thing, beautiful. I love that kind of like weird stuff. And when they add like the like devilish stuff,
Yeah,
kinda
yeah.
like that, like
Ricky likes the devil. You heard at church.
No, I don't like the devil. I just
Heard it. Beto back there.
it adds to the realism to me. I'm like, oh, it's gonna happen.
Also, Beto, I don't know if you want to check that camera. All right. Yeah, I love it, but that puts us at
A.
A, D.
D.
Hammer it, Curtis.
I said A.
Yeah, you
Oh,
say.
yes.
So that
That's how
puts
you
it
bring
at
down.
still a low A, right? Like a
No, that's,
high B.
That's
like a B.
C.
You
plus.
cannot drop
You
that
can't
much
drop
from
it that low,
triple
bro.
A.
Come on.
Bro, come on. All right, I'm gonna go with what is this one? I don't even know what I had right here. Ooh, The Stranger.
Oh, you added that on here?
Go ahead, Ricky.
Suspenseful.
Dude, this movie is so good. It creeped me out a lot because you want to know why? Because where I used to live, Aaron knows, he used to spend that all the time. My windows, there's no blinds, no nothing. So it literally reminded me of this movie. Right after we watched it, I could not sleep
Yep.
because all I could think of, like someone staring at me.
Yep.
So good.
Rating?
Rating? I'm gonna give it a high A.
High A.
Help
High
me
A.
out with this one. Is the Strangers the one where it's like the family mimics the family?
The family is wearing the masks. Like there's a girl.
No, they don't mimic them.
They don't mimic
They're
them.
preying on them, and the whole reason they say, "Why are you doing this?" is because we can.
But
They're
it's
right. So they're just like at the house and
Yes.
show up with the mask.
and it's based on a true story.
It's
been a
almost
while
like
since
worst
I've seen
case scenario for your family because there's no rhyme or reason. You didn't do anything wrong. There's
Yeah.
nothing to prevent it. It's just like we're here to literally torment you.
What is the other movie I'm talking about where there's like literally the family is like duplicated?
Multiplicity?
So you don't remember?
I remember this.
You
No,
don't get
I
a
do.
vote if you don't know.
I do remember this. I do. It was actually pretty good. I do remember. It's been a long time. I'll give it a C.
Okay. It's great. It was really good. This thing gets a C.
I would say it's a C for me as well. I just didn't. I mean, I'm a big fan of like suspense and all that.
Okay.
I would just say that like for me, it was just more of like a kind of a dud movie.
Okay, that's all right. That's a dud answer. I think A with Ricky, but I also think
Dud answer.
I mean, did I see it with you?
You might have, yeah.
I might have seen it with you. And I think it stuck with me more. It was definitely more built off slow suspense and a slow burner than like boo, scary, which I like. You know, being like a Silent Hill guy, I like that slow burn of stuff. So A
Sounds
for
like
me.
Count Chocula right there.
I love to count. AACC. That's B.
That's B.
That's B, baby. All right, up next. Ready?
Yeah,
Here we
let's
go. Halloween.
Oh.
By the way, if you've never noticed the front cover of Halloween, how brilliant that is. It's a hand with a knife multiple times with the layers going down, and it slowly turns into a pumpkin. But really, it's just replicating the layers of a hand holding a knife.
I did not. Ever
Most people
notice
never
that.
catch that. their entire lives.
I only ever saw the first hand with the knife.
Yep.
It's the same hand.
It's the same hand, but the opacity of like the lines of the fingers go down each time.
Wow.
The more
Makes it
you
even
know.
better.
Learning
Art, baby.
with Riff. Halloween, Chris, Mr. I did not know. Rate that for me, baby.
I mean, I absolutely love it. And the first one was really one of the best ones, too. I feel like the first one was good, second one was good, but this one in particular, just the introduction of him, the music, by far, the best intro scene to any horror movie is this.
That POV, first person.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Oh, man, I just love it. S for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll jump in. I will say A. I really do love it. I've loved the Halloween movies, pretty decent amount of them. But I will say my personal favorite too is the first one. I love, like you said, kind of what it set up, and I feel like it was one of those pioneers too of a lot of different things within filming, which I like that kind of stuff. Sometimes I look at like liking things more not just because of what the product is, but the reason they did certain things within the movie, and that sticks to me when it like impacts culture moving forward within that realm, like within the way they shoot movies in, you know, horror cinema. So for me, A.
Have you ever seen Halloween 3?
I've seen all of them.
You're familiar with Halloween 3, Season of the Witch?
They all blend. Absolutely, I have.
You know, Michael Myers is not in that one at all.
Oh, that's
the one where
because
they're
he
in
was
Ireland.
he was busy shooting Austin Powers.
Yeah, I would say A. I liked this a lot. I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot.
I like it.
No, I just liked it. I liked the fact that like whenever they would be running away, lock the door behind him, and he'd be in the second story. Somehow, literally a frame later, he is downstairs following you behind your
Bro,
back.
it doesn't. There is no explanation, all right?
Dude, it didn't make any sense how he'd just be like, roll out of a window. He's already downstairs and he's chasing you down.
They never need to make sense.
Magical.
Well,
But I would say-
just to go back to that Halloween 3, it was interesting about that is that it was filmed. It's a totally different plot. It's filmed in Ireland, and again, there's no Michael Myers in it. And they said that they had intended it to be a Halloween series based on just Halloween in general.
Again, they all get lost to me. Is that the one where they use the TV to market to kids?
Yeah,
Yes, that's a great one though.
it's
I
actually
like
pretty
that
good.
one.
Yeah, but it's in Ireland. No Michael Myers,
And it's expensive on VHS.
It is super expensive.
And it's a great
got like
cover.
a weird cult following to it. But then I guess they came out with that one, and people were like, "Well, where's Michael Myers?" And
Yeah.
then it wasn't until Halloween 4 they brought him back.
It was
But I
great,
always
though.
just find that pretty interesting around the series.
Only guy I know who can get shot 7 times and still keep walking.
Do you not know?
Other than 50 Cent.
I was going to say Schwarzenegger. Ricky, what's your rating?
A, just simply because it's good, and I like that song.
Oh, that's iconic.
I think that's one
That
of
like
the,
makes it what it is.
I
Like,
think
It's
that's
iconic.
dear God, one of the best ones. So that's a solid A. Right
Yeah.
now, Texas Chainsaw is still holding it. Ready? I'm going to move fast. Nightmare on Elm. I'll start.
go.
I am a huge horror guy, but horror community. Please know. D. I've never liked Freddy. He's not my villain. I've never enjoyed him. I get it. I like what he did for cinema. I like that there's plenty of big actors that came from this. I like a lot of the camera tricks they use to suck him into the bed and, you know, the different scenes in the bathtub. All this stuff. I love that stuff. It's gotten overused now over time from people mimicking it. But Freddy was never my guy. He was too goofy for me. A little too goofy. It was almost like I picture Ernest, like Ernest Goes to Camp, if he was a villain, which I love Ernest, but I want it to be actually comedy. For some reason, it was a little too much comedy. I know like Chucky was obviously comedic as well with the one-liners and the zingers, but just too much for me. D.
It's really hard to take away from like you getting a D on that. It's kind of surprised me just because I feel like the FX and the makeup that went into that whole movie was just friggin' superb.
It is.
It definitely transformed a lot of like horrors and how they go about doing makeup. So I would say for me it's a B, not a D like your dumb answer.
Whoa.
But
Oh, sorry. I thought you were gonna say something else. I was like, relax, homie.
no.
Christopher?
I'm with you on some of it. It's not one of my favorites. Like I would prefer Friday the 13th, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I know it's corny, but I kind of appreciate the corniness of it sometimes watching it. And I do just love his character. Like the glove with the razors on the end.
The sweater.
Yep.
The sweater. I like the story of how, like, you know, he was doing this stuff to the kids and the parents threw him in like the burning oven in the building.
Can't fall
with the-
asleep, too. It's
the
like such a
sleep.
frightening
There's a
mentality.
lot of cool aspects that I do like to it. When you watch them, and when I'm watching any of them, I'm like, man, this is pretty corny. But I still do like them.
Totally.
I'd still give it an A.
Okay.
I do like it.
Great.
Yes.
Nice. For me, this is actually S tier.
Ricky!
Ooh.
It's one of those movies that freaked me out because I was a kid when I was watching it. So even like,
yeah.
dude, even going to the toilet, I was scared at night. I always thought the claws were going to get me.
No, that was
Wow.
it, dude. That was it.
No. But this, it was the claws. Ever since I saw Johnny Depp get taken on the couch, or on the bed, I'm like, dear God, that thing's gonna get me.
I was scared of the toilet because of Jurassic Park. Remember the guy who got taken out right when he was sitting down taking a dump? I was like, oh no, worst way to die. Rest in peace, Elvis. All right, how did that go?
Oh, BDA.
BDA.
So I would what solid B. I don't want to say B plus. 'Cause I don't like doing that stuff like you guys.
BDAS. BDA.
Ads.
I'm gonna say it just goes right. It's
Yeah,
not bottom.
solid middle.
Yeah,
solid
It's
middle.
not
fine.
bottom or top, so it doesn't really matter. All right, up next, Exorcist.
Oh,
Shoot,
man.
Ricky.
Yeah, this is what haunted me as a kid. This one haunted the heck out of me. This is S tier. Just when
Yeah.
she puked, dude,
The head turning.
there's some things I can't even talk about this with my kids. Like, I won't let my kids watch.
Same. There's one scene.
Oh
and I
my
think
gosh.
We're talking about
And
the
I
same
know what
one.
you're talking
Yeah,
about.
as religious guys, I'm like, I don't feel comfortable watching.
I'm
certain
just
scenes.
like,
it
dear
makes
God.
it makes your stomach turn.
Yeah.
When she's like,
yeah, but
dude, every Exorcist movie gets me. So I'm like with Ricky.
But dude,
S tier.
going to church, this legit seems like real, like the real like exorcist things. Like
my grandpa did
Yeah.
exorcisms. That's
Dude.
what he did.
Did he really?
Absolutely, that's what he did was exorcisms.
Wow.
Our friend Brennan has done an exorcism at Calvary.
Yeah.
Unexpectedly with a whole bunch. I mean, it is some real
Gnarly stuff.
Gnarly stuff.
Don't watch those videos.
100% real stuff. It ain't no joke. It is real. It is as scary
This-
as it gets. It's biblically proven.
This movie literally scarred me.
Yeah.
Every movie following that with any type of exorcism scarred me because
Yeah.
of this movie.
Yep.
So I'm S with Ricky. So
Yeah, this one threw it up. S.
I'm S too. And again, talking about cinematically too, I love the shots. I love the way they did this. I love the face popping up in places where you don't even notice. There's so much to it. Again, just being believers as well, that it just adds an extra layer of like scariness
Yeah.
when you like know this stuff is real. It's like, I don't like messing with this, but I still watched it as a kid. You know, shouldn't have. Sorry, mom, who's watching. S.
Yes.
Chris is like,
Left
as a
to
believer
me.
of Satan.
Mid-low.
That's to me. Just trying to think how far down I can bring it.
What you got?
No, I actually do like it. I watched it recently with my son. Probably when he's 14, so maybe like last year we watched it.
Okay.
He's 13, and that scene is pretty brutal.
That's not
But I
right.
felt at 13 he was ready for it. I'm like, you're a teenager, you're ready for it.
I watched it at 5. He's good.
And I do love
My kids are not ready.
I do love the premise of it, but I still like in horror movies. I do prefer like hack and slash, kind of like
Got it, yeah.
13th murders, and obviously that's not.
We're not
what
trying to
this is.
skew you, but you should go with the right
So
answer.
I'm gonna have to. I don't know. I would go. I'd still give it a B.
Okay, so that puts it at like a low S, high A still. Now the question is, does that go above Texas Chainsaw?
Oh, I would
Do
say
not
yes.
think so.
I think it's pretty tied with that. I'm gonna
I'll
just
go
put it
see if I have to.
It's
put it
hard.
down further.
I'm gonna equalize it. Ricky, The Ring.
The Ring. Oh man, this one was really. I feel like I'm giving them all good. Like
You can do what you want, bro.
so.
I mean, these are like notable movies.
These are really
so-
notable movies. So yeah, this one's an A. It just freaked me out. That girl coming out of this
Samara?
Is that?
I think it's Samara.
Might be.
Yo,
Google it. Google it. Google it.
That
It comes
sounds
out of his
right.
phone.
That would be so.
I love The Ring.
You do.
And I know I'm throwing out the word cinema a lot, but I always tell people when they say, "What's your favorite horror movie?" I always say Amityville Horror, which isn't on here, funny enough. And I say, but my favorite shot horror movie is The Ring. I watched all the behind the scenes about the guys who made it, the way they did it, and it's beautiful. There's so many subliminal messages within it, within the well and the ring and the shapes and the horse's eyes and the way things happen. I fell in love with this movie the first time I watched it. I don't know what it was about it, but it just captured me. I'm going to also give this an S. I think I give 3 S's. This is one of them.
Gave it an S.
Wow.
I
What'd you
truly love it.
Hey,
Hey, I love this one too. I think for why it was so good, in my opinion, too. It is a great, great, great movie, and it's really scary. But I think it's an early 2000s movie, horror movie, and I felt like there had been a period of time where, like in the 80s, you had the 80s movies, you had the early 90s. By the end of late 90s, I feel like there was just not a lot of good horror movies coming out. Like when you look at like VHS tapes and you see all the horror movies that came out, and then all of a sudden this came out in 2000, and it was like, oh my god, I almost remember seeing this and being like, finally, like a good horror movie has come back.
You know what I really liked in it too? I know this sounds so dumb, but I've always loved movies where they play off of VHS tapes. Like where VHS tapes play a part in the horror in some way. Yeah. And I love that was a big part of the movie, was 7 days with the VHS tape.
I need to go back and watch this because it's been a long time.
Now's the time.
I know. I do really love it. In the whole scheme of things, I'd give it an A just because I think some of the other ones are more superior.
SAA?
I'm in line with that too. I would say A. It was well put together story, and her name was Samara. You were right, dog.
Samara, you got it.
Tamara, yeah.
From Sister.
Tia and Tamara.
Last one, guys. I don't know if you saw this one. Saw.
Can I start off with this one?
Yeah,
I would
absolutely.
say that I was not a big Torture fan. I don't know. I don't get my rocks off to it. It's going down to a D for me, man.
Okay. Saw D.
Dang.
Ricky?
You saw a D?
With your mom? Somehow. Ricky?
I'm gonna give it a B. I mean, I did like it. I loved the ending. It just I just remember everyone like, oh god, it was him the entire time. It was. That's what I like about it. That's why I liked it. You're right. The torture stuff, I was just like, dang, this is a little much.
It doesn't get my rocks off, man. Seeing a little jigsaw on a little tricycle going around.
Do you remember the one where they jump into the pool of needles?
Yep.
That was like
still
2 or 3.
scars
Me.
Still, I mean, even then, it still doesn't get me going. Like I'm not the
but I think that's what horror is supposed to do. The majority of the time, it's not supposed to get you going.
No, but I would say like suspense wise and all that stuff. Like and torture just kind of disgusts me. Right?
Got it. Okay, disgusts you more, Chris.
For some reason, I like the torture.
This guy's so sick.
Another one that I actually really love, which is not on here, but Hostel, which is like very torturous.
That was tough to watch.
That one is tough to watch, but I really, really like it.
Sicko.
Such a sicko. But I do like those a lot. This one was, again, I think another early 2000s. I don't know which one came out first, this or Ring, but there was so much anticipation about this movie when it did finally come out. I actually really loved it. The later ones are all kind of corny, I feel like.
A couple decents in there.
But just that concept of like, you have a saw and you're chained up and like, what do? Are you going to cut your arm off kind of thing? I just remember like a huge buzz, people talking about that.
Yeah.
Like, man, what if you were in that predicament? So I'd give it an A. I actually really liked it.
Okay.
It was good. Yes.
Nice.
How about you?
I love it.
Oh, he does.
I love
you're a
Saw.
sicko too.
Sick Saga. I saw all of them in theaters, bro. And I would see them day one they would come out. I still remember watching the ending, like flipping my lid. Like there's no way John Kramer. Like this. And actually, and then I showed my dad it like years later. And I just remember I knew it was coming because it was like on DVD. And I like went, I wish it was like in the age where I'd, cell phone cameras and record my dad because it would have went like, viral. It was my brother watching it and my dad, and I was behind the couch. I knew it was coming. And the minute he got up, I could just see it unraveling in my dad's head, like, no, it's been like that. Like classic. And I'm like, let's go. Like, I feel like it's very hard to get back what movies could do back then. A little bit, yes, internet days, but like pre-popular internet, pre-rumors, like to show someone a movie where they can be genuinely like their whole entire what they thought completely twisted, like The Sixth Sense. Like you can't get away with that now, like because everybody knows. It goes around. You find out on the internet if you even search it once. So I shouldn't be giving out more S's, but I'll go A plus. So that was
I would say I'm
D,
B.
A plus,
B? I was A.
A.
Okay, so that's a solid A, high A.
All right, so what are we going to end it on with? What was first?
It looks like the bottom of the barrel is barely Scream at like a B minus high C. Top, Exorcist and Texas Chainsaw are pretty much tied right there.
Rochambeau.
No. I'm going to say they both get it right there.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right.